many days before. I think before Dashera, we already been talked about it. So thank you very much, Shivani, that you have given your valuable time to us. And today you are here to guide the student how the journey flows and how it is um, without efforts or without hard work, it is not possible. So I think everyone should get something from her today, and almost everyone of us must implement what she will be saying today, what she will be inspiring to us, what will be what was her journey to join up to the Google. So again, from bottom of my heart and on the behalf of the Government College of Engineering, I welcome you, and I will request you to please start this session without much more detail.
Thank you so much for sir for the kind words. I'm really very obliged to be here and honored as well. So as Naresh sir mentioned, he has been supporting us since second year. Like always, he has been there, and the other faculties also as well. So whenever we had any doubts or whenever we had any problem in academics or apart from that, the teachers have been helpful very much. So that has been very what do you say, supportive, and it has been a good push for us also to perform well and to do better in our lives as well as in academics. So academics to fourth year tak ke it is there, but after that, you to ace in life you need the other lessons as well, right? So that is also very important. And like I am just going ahead with introducing myself. Also, I want to add that any one of you feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well if you have any doubts, or if you feel to connect with someone from other company as well. We can arrange that within our batch or something like that, so feel free to do that. So as Mahi mentioned, I have been working in Wipro. I started my career from Wipro. It was a campus placement. I got placed in fourth year itself. Then I actually was recruited and I started my job as a manual tester. So once I started doing that, I did not kind of like it. So I always loved coding, So in the beginning, also during the 4 years, and even before that in 11th, 12th, my what do you say subject was computer science, and at that time also I used to love coding, and I used to do some extracurricular apart from academics as well. So that kind of felt very restricted when I was a manual tester at that time. So that pushed me to learn new things and uh, get out of that profile and switch to a new profile in Wipro itself. Then I became a big data developer in Wipro, and I started in a big data project. After that, I moved on to Happiest Minds, and then I recently joined Google, which was in August 2022. So it was definitely like a dream come true moment. Everyone's dream company is Google. That is like for sure Google, Amazon, then Microsoft. These are the top companies that we aspire to be in. And today I am here to help you understand how my journey was and how you can kind of get help from me in that terms, how you can prepare, how you can go on with your preparation, not today but later on as well. Like I started preparing in 2022 when I was having 4 years of experience. So this is definitely that something that you can keep doing later on as well, like not only in final year, but after that also you can kind of take tips from my journey, right? And having said that, I'll just walk you through my journey, my incidents, whatever I have, and then we can move on to any questions that you might be having regarding preparation or anything in for that matter. Okay. So I think I would, like I was mentioning, I was recruited as a manual tester, and honestly, service based companies, when they pick out, when they, what do you say, when they take a lot of students from different colleges and different cities and whatnot, they have a lot of students to give profiles to, and you might not end up having the profile that you really want to do. Like for example, if let's say you are interested in web development, right? And that is something that you are very good at and you want to pursue that later on, you might not get a profile suitable to that in your first year itself of your profession. So that should not kind of set you back, or you should not think कि यार ये profile मिल गया है तो I'll have to continue doing this. You can definitely switch profiles. It is difficult. It was difficult for me at least. It is somewhat difficult for others also, but it is not definitely not impossible. So don't settle for whatever profile you are given. Would be like my number one tip, and this is for lifetime. It's not like ki you have to continue doing that since first year of your professional life or something like that. You can switch anytime you want to a different kind of domain. And there the domains are vast. Like in IT, you might not understand the complete what do you say, the spectrum of domains that are available right now. Even I do not know some of them, but as you go on and experience new things, meet new people, you'll understand how different things are within the profiles as well, right? So once you experience a lot of profiles, you get to know what suits best for you. So that is something you should never stop looking for. Even now, when I am a cloud data engineer, I still think of times, there are still times when I think of which profile will be best for me, or should I try something new or something like that, right? So having said that, for me, I what I did was I had done a course in big data engineering, which kind of helped me understand the basics of the course. And after when I had done that course, I wanted to switch into the big data domain as a developer. And I started looking for projects within Wipro. And fortunately enough, I got to switch in I think 2.5 years only, post which I was developing, like I was in a development role in TD Bank, which is a Canadian bank, where I got a lot of exposure, which helped me develop the data engineering skills as well along with that. So this was like my experience around switching from one domain to another. And like uh, I have gone through a lot of domains. Like domains as in the profiles that I'm saying, right? Once I was a tester, I knew that this was not something that I wanted to do, post which I tried a lot of things. So it's not like ki you'll try one thing, you'll not like it, or you like it and you think that this is the end of the career or end of the world. No, it's not like that. I had tried automation testing, I had tried web development, I even tried data science. But this was something, data engineering is something that stuck to me. I genuinely liked doing that, and I was very much interested in the technologies and everything around this thing. So I continued like I continued searching deep into it, where I realized that okay, this is something that I would like to do in the long run. So the reason why I am stressing on this part is that when you are actually motivated to learn new things around what you are doing, that is when there is no stopping you. Like there, like learning new things will not be a burden for you if you are liking that, you get it? So it's like when you are really interested in something, it is beneficial for you itself to learn new things, and you are very interested along the process and everything. It is no more a burden for you to even log in on Mondays, or even any work day for that matter. So that is very important thing in IT sector, to have that satisfaction of work. So I think that was enough said about the domains and everything. Now to talk about Google, like how do you apply and how do you start, right? So I think the first most important tip that I have is never not believe in yourself. Like just don't think I'm not ready enough, or it is I want more time to prepare. No, it's not like that. You just go on and apply to as many jobs as you can. And I think there is a limit of 3 jobs per person for 1 month, right? So you can apply to 3 jobs in 1 month, in Google at least. So just keep on applying, not only Google, but apply to all the companies that you feel like, once you kind of start your journey. And after the application comes, the after the result comes that your application has been selected or something like that, then you can move on and start working on your skills. So it's not like you have to be prepared before even applying. So that is, I think, very important to note. So I did the same. Like I had completed 3 years of experience in my IT professional life, and that was the minimum requirement. So just make sure that you satisfy the minimum requirement for the job profile. Once you do that, you can go ahead and apply to whatever job profile you like, or whatever job profile you are interested in. And I had applied and I got the call. You won't believe it. I had applied in May 2021, and I got the call for interview in April 2022. So it was around 11 months after I got the call. So you never know what can happen. So just go on and apply to jobs. So I had applied to, I think, 4 or 5 jobs, after which I had stopped applying. But that, like 1 year before, wala application got me the result after that time. So you never know when the company has vacancy, or it requires more people or something like that, like, right? So just don't shy away from that. Now, while preparing, I think this is something that you can apply right now as well. So while preparing, always have a roadmap or a syllabus kind of prepared for you. And like, for now, so you must be having different subjects, right? So there are 7 8 subjects that you need to prepare for any interview. Like, just divide them into different parts and have a roadmap for each of these subjects. Have a list written down in front of you, that these are the important topics that I need to cover, and these are the things that I want to go through. Why this really helps is that when you have a list prepared for you, right, and you are preparing for an interview, you can see what you are good with, what you want to prepare more of, and you really have a everything condensed in front of you, right? So it's really helpful when you are kind of, you want to study but you don't really feel like it, and you are very stressed, but you are like कि थोड़ा सा कुछ पढ़ना है light सा. So you can just refer to that list and find out ki what you can pick up for now, or something like that. So it's like very helpful for preparing when you have a roadmap ready for you. Now, to talk about the technical things that you need, right? I think a lot of times it is being believed, or it is being said, that theoretical knowledge is not that important, or you know, college में जो पढ़ा है वो काम नहीं आता है, or something. But I personally, I believe that college में जो lectures है, और college में जो subjects है, that is like the foundation of your entire career. At least if you are planning to stick to computer science, that is something that you will require for, like, I'm not saying that this is the algorithm that you will be using in your, what do you say, professional life or something, but that is the foundation of everything. That teaches you how to learn stuff from a very what a very a very from a zero point of view. Like when you are new to a subject, or when you are new to a technology, this is where you learn how to learn new things. You get it? So that is something you need to really focus on at this point, when you are a final year student or third year student. So I'm not sure if we have other than third year or final year students with us. So do we have first year and second year students as well in the call?
Some of the
Yes,
second
ma'am.
year students are there.
Okay, okay.
I'm not sure about the first year student. Mahi can tell us about the first year. Mahi, first year
Yes,
students are
sir.
there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So
Hmm.
we have reached to all first year, second year, third year, and final year.
Right. So I think it is relevant for first year, second year students more to kind of get into the theory of these subjects. The ones that we have in third final year are very important, and those set the foundation for you for the for lifetime, basically. If you are obviously sticking to this profession, not if you are changing or moving ahead with something else. So I think give importance to your academics as much as you would to other skill building or other technologies, new technologies that you have. So like, having said that, I used to enjoy learning. That is the reason I did not it did not feel like a stress to me. Like, मुझे अच्छा लगता था पढ़ना and about these things. That was because I liked these subjects, and just feel free to reach out to people if you are having doubts. So I myself had a really what do you say, like our whole batch was very padhaku, if you will. So it was like we used to talk about these things, as well as, we kept on teaching each others as well. Like kuch doubt hai to hum padha dete the, ek dusre ko bata dete the. And these stuffs really help you to get through that part as well. And obviously these builds memories for lifetime. So that is something that I miss about college a lot. But yeah, you guys can take advantage of right now, right? So like what I'm trying to say is, have these groups, and uh, be surrounded by people who are who have the same thoughts, or who have the same interests. That will really help you to what do you say, to improve yourselves. So I used to watch my friends and get inspired from them, ki Are, he's doing such a project, she's doing such projects. And then I used to feel like, okay, I'll also learn something, so I'll also pick up some new projects and stuff like that. So be surrounded by people around you who have same interests like you, right? So that is also really important. Now, to talk about interview preparation, I think the first and most important thing is to, after you have a roadmap prepared, just reach out to people that you uh, that from the same domain or from the same company. So I had done that for my interview. So I reached out to Googlers who were selected while I was preparing, just like 15-20 days before, on LinkedIn, obviously. So I reached out to them. I asked them how is the process, how is the questions, how are the questions asked, how are they framed, or how deep are they, when you talk about a topic, how in depth they go for a particular topic. So that really helped me prepare for my interview. Because what happens is, when you give interview for a project based company, right, they will ask a lot of follow up questions. So it is not only how a thing works, it is very much in depth of how it works. So it is like they ask you a 3 to 4 follow up questions on a single question. So you need to have a very 360-degree view of whatever you are learning to answer those questions. So usually what happens is, service based companies may, if you go and give interviews, right, it is more, I would say, theoretical. Now it's not that everywhere it is the same, but most of the places that I have seen, it is more theoretical. Uh, and that makes it a bit easier also. So they are satisfied with the answer that you give to them. But product based companies, they will ask a lot of questions on top of that, just to ensure that you know the right thing. Okay, so that is something that you really get from understanding the basics and foundations, which you understand, which you are learning right now, right? So being good in foundations is the most important thing to help build on it, right? So that is like really very very important. So I think that was the thing that helped me most during my preparations as well. Beating the basics, being good at the basics, and then building on top of it कि इससे ऐसे relate होता है whatever you are learning now, ऐसा, right? So that was around my preparation. And if you want to know the detailed interview process also, I can give you that for Google. So it is like I had 5 rounds. The first is a screening round. That is not a very difficult one. They ask you normal SQL questions and normal for loop wala question वगैरह, just to make sure that okay, uh, you are a good candidate, and you are not someone who has very less knowledge about this. So that is a screening test, post which there is the first interview, which is of 1 hour. And that is where they get in depth of the role you are applying for. Now this is something that I experienced. Like, I was applying for a specific role, right? It was a technical role. So the questions and everything was related to that particular thing, to that role. So the first interview was 1 hour long, and it had a lot of follow-ups. So there were, I think, 8 to 9 questions, and sub questions milake, there were like 1 or 2 questions in each of the questions. And then they ask you examples, then they ask you what you can what where to apply and stuff like that. So after that 1 hour 1 hour 1 hour first interview, They send you the result, they give you 15 days to prepare for the next round. Next, there are two rounds. The first one is the coding one, and the second one is the system design. And once you clear both of these rounds, there is the last round, which is the HR round, after which the committee will kind of decide for your candidature, and they decide that if you are eligible or not, uh, if you're selected or not, and then the process is like decided by them itself. So the decision is taken by them itself. So it is like for me it was a 2 month process. So I mentioned I got the call in April. For me, the interviews went on for mid of April, like 15 days of April, and full May I was giving interviews. Then in June, first week I got my offer letter. So that was like 2 month long process for me. And I know it can get very tiring for you as well. I think you must be giving interviews for different companies, and there are a lot of interviews to give of different companies, and to keep on top of everything, and to side by side also complete the academics, and be good at the academics as well as the extracurricular activities. Those things you should never miss. Like college life mein 4 years, if you are not doing everything, I mean you should do everything basically. And I did the same. I was doing extracurricular as well, I was studying as well. So it's like 4 saal mein sab kar lo type. So um, it's very difficult to stay on top of it, but what really helped me was to stay motivated, right? So I found my motivation. Like I was thinking of कि मेरा गूगल में हो जाएगा, तो उस टाइम पे how I'll feel, or how I'll be able to, how what things I'll be able to do, and what things I'll feel, and how my parents will feel about this, and stuff like that really helped me moving on, and help me kind of focus on, help me motivate, and help me focus on my interview preparation and everything. So just keep telling yourself that this is what you are working for, this is what you want, and that will, I think, get you a long way. So that is something that uh, you can really do for any part of your life basically, not only now but later on as well. Now I think we have talked about interviews, we have talked about my preparation and how you can help prepare. We have also talked about the college life, and what you can do now to start. So if you have any questions that I can help you with, you can go ahead and shoot.
Yes, anyone, those who want to ask some questions or some doubt related to the study, the preparation. Okay, maybe they will ask in some time. First of all, I think I should ask you something.
Hmm.
What kind of, when you have been through this journey of the Google interview process, as you said that it was the first round, it was a screening round.
Hmm.
So obviously you said that they will just get some our background knowledge that we are actually we are coming from the computer science background or not. They will just verify.
Yeah.
You know the looping segments and everything, all that. But thereafter, when you say about the technical round, what kind of questions are has been asked? Technical questions, and you felt the difference between when the questions were asked you in the interview of Wipro and the interview of Google now.
Yes, definitely. There was a lot of difference. So, for me, I was applying for a data engineering position. So, the questions were related to that only. So, like if you are aware of Hadoop and Spark technologies, that was my major work experience at that point. So, they were related to that. And honestly, now that I've been part of Google for 5 6 months, I know a little bit more about the interview process. So I'll add from that experience as well to this question. So they do not want you to not get selected. Like they are there to help you. Every interview that you will come across in Google is there to help you succeed, and they will make you feel comfortable. Like let's say the interviewer asks you that have you worked on this particular technology or have you worked on this particular tool, you should never lie. Like, this is not for Google, this is for every company. Don't lie to the interviewer. They know better than you every time. Every interviewer will know better than you, better than me, better than everyone, basically. So just don't lie to them and be honest. Keep, I have worked a little bit, or I have not worked till yet, till now, or something like that. And they will ask you questions on what you have worked on only. So it's not like ki, now obviously if you haven't worked a lot on anything, it would be a blocker in that case also. But if you kind of work, like, what I'm trying to say is, whatever you are good at, they will see that, not the faults in you. So that is something that they take make sure of. Now to move to the second part of the question, and like the types of questions that I was asked was related to my background itself, like how would I make it better, or how what changes would I do for in a particular part of code that I had done before to help it perform better or something like that. So it gets very technical in that aspect only, the ones that you have worked on and once you are have experience with. And now to move on to the second part of question, difference between Wipro's interview and Google's interview. So when I appeared for Wipro, and even Happiest Minds is a service-based company, so I think this classification I have seen in terms of being service-based and being product-based, right? So in service-based, what happens is they want you to be good at a lot of things, but they don't want you to be expert at anything. Like, they won't expect you to be an expert at some technologies or something. They just want you to be good at a lot of things. So because they don't know where you will fit in, right? The place where you will actually fit in, it depends on your project, and it will depend on what you are learning later on. So it is very generic, but upar se wala. So it is like, I have come across this what do you say, tool which is a T based skill tool. So like, this is your T, right? And these are the skills that will help you be good at something but not in depth. And these are the skills that will kind of are what like will represent what you are as a person in IT profession or in any profession for that matter. So these, like, for example, for me, these are the big data tools. These are Hadoop, Spark, and the big data tools that I have worked on. Now these are the tools that I know a little bit about. I can work on in later if I get a chance, but not in depth. So यहाँ पे the service based people focus on, and product based companies focus on the depth of each of the things that you have worked on. So I think that is the biggest difference that I have experienced in these two companies and these two interviews.
Okay, someone Pranav Hole has asking about that how the major project or the minor project which we are doing in the our career of the 4 years,
Hmm.
how they will be impacting on the selection process, or how they will be impacting on the interview processes for any kind of company, not only for the big giants like Google, but for other companies which may be a product based or the service based. How
Right.
the how our minor and major project will impact for that.
So I think more than the impact for them, I think it impacts for you. So the projects are not for the faculty, not for the interviewers. They are literally for you. And the like, being having done something in a project gives you the confidence, gives you the, more than the technology, I think it makes you believe in yourself that okay, I have done this much in on my own or something like that. So that is something that will really help you later on. Now to talk about if my final year project was is relevant right now, I think I would say no, it is not that relevant. But I have been into IT for 5 years now. It takes a lot of time to uh, like, for me now the relevant thing would be the 5 year experience that I have had, right? But for you guys, it is definitely important, the project that you are choosing. And it shows how you are how you are coming through a struggle. And it is definitely a huge thing for us as well. At that point of time, finally, may you do not know a lot of things. It is theory based that you have learned, and everything that you know is new. So to accomplish a project like this or to accomplish a goal like this on your own with your peers or with your classmates is a huge thing, and that is what they will see rather than what technology you have worked on or what project you are, what tool you have done or whatever you have developed. I think the things that go behind that to get the project completed is something that will help you, will also help you later on. So for I think a couple of years, yes, your project will be relevant, it is important, but beyond that I think it will not be that much relevant after that.
Yes,
uh,
anyone?
and I think like how will it impact your selection process, so I would also like to add that it will they will ask you about your project. They will not say कि अरे इसने ये tool में काम किया है तो this is not a good project और ये tool पे किया है तो this is a good project. No, they will ask you about your project, what you did in that, how much you understood from that, so that will impact your selection. Like for me, I think I don't remember, but in final year only, I was being asked about the projects and everything, and at that time I was not able to answer a lot of things because we were lagging a bit behind in the project, so I was not able to answer. So I think that had impacted this thing. So just make sure that you are doing the project and it is being like you are putting efforts into it, and they will see that definitely. So that is something that will impact your project, not the tool or what you are doing, but how you are doing it, and if you are working with your peers properly or not. So that is the this thing.
Hello, ma'am. You
Yeah.
said that you worked in a domain of big data for 3 to 4 years and then joined Google. But if someone wants to join product-based companies like Google, Amazon as a fresher or with 1 or 2 years of experience, so procedure must be different. So, what should they work upon? Like,
Um, I think joining as a fresher is like I have colleagues with me. I have some colleagues who have been selected in final itself. So like Google is their first company, ESA. Now your first company and then the later on that what wherever you apply, it doesn't matter if it is Google or anything, any different company. But let's talk about the first company, right? When you are talking about your first company and what they expect from you, it is very much based on what you are doing in your college, right? It is a more theoretical approach. They do not expect you to have hands on everything that you have heard of or you have studied, and it is a more in depth, not in depth but over a lot of subjects or a lot of broad spectrum. Like I said, the T based, right? For freshers it lies over here. So you should know a little bit about operating systems, you should know like stuff about TSA, you should know about compiler design, but in depth of everything is not that much required, like hands on and everything. You should know the basics and a lot of things, but later on when you move on to a domain or a domain specific thing, it gets in depth. So I think for you to focus, if you are if you are applying to a company, I mostly to you will be applying to a particular role, but if you do not have like the skills that you need require for that role, I think you should first work on that. So like for a web developer, having like knowing JavaScript and HTML is very important for any company for that matter. So you should work on the skills that are provided in the job description, and then later on you can build on developing those skills and getting in the depth of each of these skills.
oh, thank you, ma'am. My another question is, you said that they ask about basic skills like operating system and DSA for a fresher. So, what is more difficult to join Google as a fresher or as someone who is experienced in a particular domain?
Um, that is, I think it depends on the experience, but if you like, don't quote me on this, but from my personal experience, I have felt that wherever you are getting like for me and for a lot of my friends that I've seen, if you're not getting selected in a huge giant or a huge big company or a very, very nice company. And see, Wipro is not a bad company. See, I'm not saying that it is a bad company or something like that, but it might not align with what you have. So what you want to do or what you are passionate about. So what I'm trying to say is, don't be very disheartened by where you are getting selected now. No profile or no job is a bad one for that matter. It's just not the right one for you, is what I would say. Okay. So for me, a HTML or web development would be a bad one. For someone else, it would be a very interesting one or a very good one, right? So just take a chill pill. You have worked a lot for 4 years. You don't have to get into a very good company abhi ke abhi, and very, like, you don't have to ace your professional life starting in the first year or something like that. Don't take so much pressure on yourself. Just take some time, take some time to understand what it is about, how things work in IT, how things are different than other professions, or the experience that you are having in college, how things are done over here, and try and develop a skill around you. So like creating a brand for yourself is what uh, I would say. Like a brand should be associated to your name, so it should be synonymous to, like, this person is good at this, so ye hona chahiye. And after that it is easier to apply, is I would say. Because when you are applying as a fresher, you are expected not a lot of things, but not in a detail, right? But it is easier to get into detail of something that you like, is what I feel like. So that is my personal experience. So I try to answer it using this part. So I might be wrong and I might be not relevant for some people, but you just have to find your tune and sing to it basically. So yeah.
No, ma'am, it was definitely relevant. There is another question, that what is the difference between data engineer and data scientist?
Okay, I think that's a good question, and I do get it a lot. So I have been in touch with a lot of students, and they tend to confuse between these two. So I'll try to give this answer with an example, right? So let's say I have Twitter data. Okay, I have a lot of tweets that keep on coming on. So like you cannot ask the users to tweet in a single hour or something like that. So it is something that keeps on coming in. So what a data engineer does is, this data that is coming in from a lot of sources. Now there is website data, mobile data, and different streams of data that is coming from different sources. Okay, so the sources vary from one another, and there are a lot of sources that the data is coming from. Once the data is there, once you have it somewhere, now there are a lot of designs that you have in data engineering, and a lot of architectures that you have. So let's say I'm putting all the data into a data warehouse. Now this is the data warehouse that I have all the sources data, and this is my the warehouse will have all the data, right? What a data engineer does is, they will design and architect this particular data warehouse. So they will make decisions and decide tools and take decisions on this particular field, that how the data should reside in your system. Will it be a data warehouse or a data lake, or will it just be a table or whatever it is, and which kind of a technology is, or sorry, or which tool is best suited for which type of data, and stuff like that. So it is this job is done by the data engineer. Okay, to keep the source data into some place that is a very reliable one, and it should not be like when there are a lot of tweets, the system is failing, or you are getting an error of data retrieval or something like that. So you need to make sure the data is being kept in a proper manner. That is what a data engineer does. They design the pipeline for that data. Now a tweet might have to be updated, or it might have to be transformations have to be made on this particular source or something like that. So that is something, a pipeline that the data flows through once it has been given by the source, is what a data engineer does. Now, once your data is there in your data warehouse, this is where your data scientists will work. Now, what a data scientist will does is, whatever data they have that has been provided by the data engineers, they will take that data and analyze that. So, machine learning and everything, they will apply these algorithms on top of this particular data to take better decisions in business. So, a data scientist will come into picture now, and he will or they will see that okay, in India, these are the particular trending topics that are being done, or that are being, what do you say? These are the topics that are trending right now, and they apply these algorithms over here to analyze and to take better business decisions. So this is like a Twitter example that I tried to give you, but it is similar for any example. So data engineer prepares your data, prepares the pipeline architecture, everything of the data, and the data scientist will build algorithms and prepared algorithms to help the business leaders. So that is the uh, crux of data engineer versus data scientist.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Another question in the chat box is that how to approach a particular question in an interview, basically the DSA question.
DSA questions. Okay. So, like I said, like I had an interview for 1 hour. Okay, and for like I'll tell you the difference in DSA questions also. Like coding, a lot of companies ask coding. Okay, now the service-based companies that I gave interview for, let's take an example of Happiest Minds also. What they'll do is they'll ask you a code for a given question, and you'll have to write the code for them. You'll run it for them, or they will take it offline and check if the code is right or not, and they'll end it there. But for Google, Microsoft, Meta, any such big companies, what they do is they'll ask you one question. When you give the code for that, they'll change the question for you. Change as in they'll add use cases for that. So for example, like finding a maxima or minima, then they'll ask you, what if I have this particular input, or what if I do this, what if I add this one, or something like that. So that is something that they will keep on adding for you, and it is not something that you'll get on online questions or something like that. So this is something you have to develop. Now, how do you develop is would be your next question. So I think solving different types of problems is very important. Not only solving a lot of problems, like I did not go through a lot of lead code problems during my preparation, but solve different types of problems that you have. So like a question maxima minima ka kar liya, then another question you take up for hash maps, another question you take for let's say finding the median or something like that. Now with this collective knowledge of all the questions that you have, try preparing new questions and try to come up with a solution on your own rather than what you see on Geeks for Geeks or Lead Code. Try to think how you can solve it and how you will optimize it. Now every time they ask how do you optimize this code, right? Not only in product based but service based also, optimization is like the crux of um, any type of work that you are doing. It is very important to optimize whatever you are doing, right? So I think how to approach any problem comes from what you have done in the past and what you have collected over these things. So just like I'm not able to kind of, what do you say, explain it to you. Like if you have an if I can come up with an example, I'll try to do that. So like just think of what you will solve and how you will do it. Don't get into the code directly. Having a pseudo code first really helps you to get to the coding part. बाद में सिर्फ तुम्हें लॉजिक को ही कन्वर्ट करना है कोड में, दैट तो यू कैन डू, but the logic and the pseudo code that you have is really important. So how you will get that is by solving a lot of different problems and by taking a bit from every problem that you are having.
Thank you, ma'am. There are another questions in chat box. Before that, I would like to ask something that being a third year or final year students, when we apply in Google for internships that are basically for us, most of the time what happens, our resume doesn't get shortlisted. and that happens for almost 90% of the students. So what is that key element in the resume that Google look for? Because there are a lot of internships we do. Everything was mentioned, but still the thing happens.
I think having a good resume is very, very important. Like I mean, you guys must be watching videos and stuff around this, so you guys are pretty much aware of this fact that having a good resume is very important. Now, how do you get a good resume? Um, there is no one answer. Like it's not like you'll follow this person's thoughts or something and that'll work for you. It's not like that. You just have to find the right thing for yourself. Now see, I'll tell you whatever problem I'm facing, right? What I do is I try to solve it from a third person's perspective. So like let's say I am writing a resume for myself. What I'll now think of is ki if recruiter has to see this resume, what he or she will look into it. So what they want to see, I'll write those things. Now this doesn't mean that I'll write the technologies or tools that I have not worked on, but I will try to summarize it for them. I'll try to make it easy for them to understand. ठीक है. So that is something that you really need to think of. Now you have done a lot of things. Now you have to select what is most valued by a particular job profile or by a particular company, and you have to highlight that in your resume. Now for me, for example, if you see, what I had done in my resume was I had a section for skills. Like my projects were listed and I had a section for skills, and I had written down whatever skills I had worked on in that particular project. So if a recruiter comes and sees that project, that resume, they will know that okay, this person has worked on these skills. They know these skills because they have worked on this project, right? So easy, like easy to read, quick to read, and the most valuable things should be written on top is something that is very important for for like a resume, right? So that is what you should go for. See it from a third person perspective and see what is most valuable for them, and try to highlight the same in your resume.
We will keep that in mind. Another question in chat box is that what
Hmm.
are some other skills that are required rather than technical skills for getting into product-based companies?
Okay, to get into product based companies apart from technical, um, I think communication is the most important thing. Like, I think it is important for almost any job that you go for, but especially in IT, if you're not able to communicate with your manager, with your colleagues, with your client, with your peers as well, or your juniors, it is very difficult for you to get your point and get your value to the table, right? So communication is very important. Don't feel shy to speak up or to talk to people, or speak out your ideas. You might not be right the 100% time. Like it's not like you will be right always or you'll be judged or something like that. Just don't feel like that, and communicate to other people. I think communication is very important. Then if I'm not wrong, this is around the soft skills only, right? The like not the technical knowledge but the other things that you have. So yeah, I think communication is the most important thing. Now soft skills may to think time management and all these things are some are things that you know uh, make you better in what you are doing. So that is also very important, time management, and not take a very stress not take a lot of stress when you are doing something. So like I think from my experience I would like to take this into a little bit of other direction. So I have seen people and I have seen my colleagues who are so stressing about their job, but it is like it's not worth it, like to I mean you should be very you should give very I think there is a disturbance. Okay, so you should be very focused and you should give very much importance to your job, but to stress about it is something you should avoid. And if you feel that this is something that you're not able to do, just feel free to reach out to anyone that might help you, and not stress about it, because at the end of the life job is a part of your life. right? And you don't want that part to affect your other things that you are having in your personal life or in your career as well. So just take some time to release that stress and to understand where you are going wrong, and try to take a few steps back to understand how you can do it better, rather than just stressing about it कि ये नहीं हो रहा है, ये नहीं हो रहा है, and ऐसे मतलब this will not get you anywhere. Just take some steps back, ask for help. It is never a bad thing. Just ask for help for from other people or from friends or something, and try to do it in a better way that will not end you in a bad situation like it did, right? So these are the three things that I think are very important. So like communication, time management, and not taking stress at a level that will hamper your well-being. So these are the very important things apart from technical that I feel. Now to get into Google, Microsoft, Amazon, I think this only that you should be very positive, and they watch you as a person as well. So I have like while I was preparing, I went through a lot of YouTube videos, to see how they judge on these things, that apart from the technical, even Amazon has some criteria that they see in their candidates. Even Google has this thing called googliness, which means that you should be a good person at the end of the day. Everything that matters is you being a good person and you helping out others. So that is something that they will see, and it will depend from company to company. But um, I think at the end of the day, yes, you should be positive, you should be a better person and try to be a better version of yourself. So that is something that they see inherently, and it is not something that they have an interview for, but they assess it during the interview process itself. So this is something that you will be judged on in your screening as well as in your HR round. So all throughout, they will assess you on this part. I,
Definitely, ma'am. There is one more question, that how to apply and prepare for off campus drives. You might have prepared for off campus in your final year, so you can answer that.
um, I think for final year, I hadn't prepared for off campus drive, but I don't think the preparation will differ. Like, see, uh, what I feel is you are not preparing for a company, right? You have to work on yourself. I think I must have missed to mention this, but this is like what I'm trying to say over here is don't prepare for a company, don't prepare for off campus setting or for an on campus setting. Prepare to be better in what you are doing. ऐसा नहीं है कि उधर ये चाहिए इसलिए मैं वो पढ़ूंगा या फिर इसलिए मुझे वो करना है. Just feel how it can help you. So don't think of it as an off campus placement, may I'll do this or something. As a fresher, as a 4 year graduate from a computer science field, a BTech field, these are the things that a person should know. Do I know these? Ask yourself and then prepare for it. Like, just focus on what you have to do better rather than what they want. Get it? And if you're preparing for every company, like company wise, it is going to be very difficult for you to track as well. Just think, just have a retrospective within your friend circle, or ask help from a faculty for that, and just make sure that you are at least doing that part. After that you can build on the skills that you can, but don't think of it as an off campus में ये करना है या फिर on campus में ये. Just think of it as what you are presenting as a add on for that company, for any company, right? So I think, yeah, that is what I have around this. So like, don't worry about it being off campus or on campus. So it will be difficult or not difficult or easier. Just prepare for yourself.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
One last
uh,
question is
माही,
yes, sir.
वही लास्ट क्वेश्चन को मैं थोड़ा क्लब कर दूंगा. आई विल क्लब दैट टू क्वेश्चंस. Actually, we everyone will be eager to know that as being you a cloud data engineer in Google, what actually you work on, what is your profile, and how many hours per day you give for your job?
Okay. So, as a cloud data engineer in Google, currently my role is to help the customers come on Google Cloud. So, whatever new customers that we are having, so when a customer comes to us and they say, ki, okay, I am interested to come to, like us as an, obviously, there are a lot of teams. Now I'm talking us on behalf of the collective Google team that works on it. It is not always me or my team. So the process, I'll explain you what the process looks like. The client company or the customer will approach the Google team to get their workload on Google Cloud. So currently, whatever their workload is, they want to move it to Google Cloud. This is where we come into picture. Me and my coworkers or me and my team, what we do is we understand what their data pipeline looks like. Now there are a lot of things within what their current setup and they are currently doing. So we take into picture the data. It's not that we are responsible for the complete thing. There are different people for infra, there are infrastructure, there are different people for VM or other things, and then we come into picture for the data part. Now to help them understand what their architecture on the current architecture which is on prem or on other cloud, or currently how they are doing, how it will be done on Google Cloud. This is where we help for. Now there are a lot of services in Google Cloud which are data related. There are a lot of databases, a lot of data warehouses, OLAP systems and whatnot. So there are a lot of services that we have in Google Cloud. Me and my team's work is to help them understand how a particular product will be better for them and how they'll be using this particular product. So this is where we come into the picture. We help them architect their system in Google Cloud, and we help them move their data to Google Cloud. So this is the first part of the question, and I think the second part was how many hours I work each day. So honestly, it is never fixed. So sometimes I have been working for like 8, 10, 12 hours in a day, and sometimes the days are chill, but it is not very stressful, I would say. It is like on an average, I would say 7 to 8 hours I work for each of the day during the week. So some days of the week are very hectic, other days are very chill. So I don't have a lot of calls or anything on Fridays or Mondays. So those are my uh, what do you say, chill days, and I get to work a lot on that days apart from the calls. But then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have a lot of calls. So I have to work a lot on top of that. So it becomes very hectic all throughout. So I think 7 to 8 per day, for like average would be for a week 7 to 8 hours. It's not like a lot. मतलब बहुत ज्यादा काम है ऐसा नहीं है, but yeah.
But still they are, but still they are more than us. As we go, as everyone from student, those who joined over here, they know
Ah,
that I'm coming to the college not exactly at sharp 10:30.
नो नो, बट देन आई थिंक जो आप मतलब कॉलेज में रह के बिना रहे भी जो काम है वो भी काफी है, तो इट्स नॉट लाइक बहुत ज्यादा काम है या फिर कम है.
Okay. Currently, you are actually working from home, or you are going physically to the company.
I go a couple of times. Like abhi to I'm in my hometown, so I am working from home for now. But the hybrid work has started, and we go to office like once or twice a week, or once or twice in 15 days. So
So, where is your headquarter? Your headquarter.
it is in Bangalore.
Okay.
My office is in Bangalore. Yeah.
Yes, Mahi. Anything else?
No, sir, shall we conclude with the session?
Yes. With the permission of Shivani, we can conclude it. And please go ahead for your conclude statements.
Okay, sir. So it was an indeed amazing session, ma'am. Now I would like to deliver my genuine vote of thanks to Shivani, ma'am, who said yes for this session despite of having a busy schedule. A huge thanks to Professor N.G. Garge, sir, for organizing this session. Also, a huge thanks to our departmental team of Institute of Engineers and GD. SC GCOEA for all the arrangement. And last but not the least, our audience who joined with us today, though it's Sunday. And thank you very much, everyone. Here, with the permission of authority, I hereby declare that the session is concluded. Thank you.
Okay. Shivani, we will happy to know that the Google's the developer student club is there.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yes, so the Aarti Manputra, she's one of our third year girl. She has taken the initiative, and uh, one of the boy from electrical, I think Pranav, right, Aarti?
Yes, sir.
So these two people has been taking the initiative for that Google Developer Student Club, and they
hmm,
started over that club in our college, and now we are connected with the Google Developer Student Club, and these two people, these two students, with the help of the other their team, they
hmm.
organize some of the coding events, and they also participate in the Google competitions.
Nice, nice.
So, so, so it will be also very much helpful from your side also. If in future we will require some sort of problems to be get solved
Definitely, sir.
for some
So,
competition purpose, so we will
yeah.
be in contact for that. Yes, please go ahead.
So, for the students as well, like if you feel like reaching out to me or any of the other batch students that we have from other companies, if you are pursuing and if you have some doubts, just feel free to reach out to me also on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to help. Or you can ping me on WhatsApp as well. So it's not uh, like don't feel shy to do that. And yes sir, I'll definitely be happy to help wherever I can. So I just want more of my college people to join Google, so I'll be very happy in
Okay,
helping.
and in the Bangalore, your Google company in Bangalore, do they provide the company visits for the students?
I think I'm not really sure if the students as like a college group can visit the company or not, but I'll
Okay.
definitely check it out and let you know.
Yes. We will be we will be very much we will love to come over there to see the Google culture and the to have the
Yeah.
tour of the company.
Yeah, so I think it was not like for COVID, so they had stopped it, but they must be starting it. Like I'm not sure. I'll check it out if they have something for that post COVID. So I'll let you know,
Okay.
sir, if there is anything.
Yeah. If there is possibility, then obviously we will try to
Yes,
do
yes,
something for that.
sure, sure, sir.
Okay. From my side also, I'm very thankful to you, and from the behalf of the whole college, I'm thankful that you have given your time from your busy schedule of the Google.
No, the pleasure is all mine, sir. Seriously, I'm very happy to help in any way I can to the students of my college. So yeah.
Yes, and we'll be trying to contact you for some projects, the final year major projects. Actually, what is happening nowadays is the
Mm-hmm.
students are taking their own some topics which are very irrelevant. So actually, what actually we want from you people, all from all the alumni, that you should give us some sort of problem statement,
Ah, okay.
some sort of. You might been gone through a lot of things from the from the journey of from your Wipro to Google. You
Mm-hmm.
have seen lot of projects. You have been working on lot of things. You have been working in the different sectors. So obviously you must know you know that what are the different kind of problems that can be generated. And for that, so solutions are required. Will be helpful for the
Hmm.
society. Will be
Okay.
helpful for the company. Will be helpful for the college organization. So for that, I will be contacting you, and I'm really very much thankful for today's session.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for this opportunity. So we can work on the this thing offline. So I'll
Yes,
take
yes,
help from
exactly.
my other batchmates as well. We can collate something to help the students help choose the
Yes.
projects.
And for the department, actually, we are having that departmental forum. You
Mm-hmm.
might know that. But after COVID, lot of in, that forum has been inactive now.
Ah, right.
So from next month, I will trying to just get again that section active, and I will be trying to join most of you alumni over there,
Okay.
so that we can conduct the sessions and also to get some to give some knowledge to the students, which will be
Yeah.
very much helpful for their careers.
And I think like for them being updated on the relevant and trending technologies, as people call it. So I think that will also help them understand what each of this technology or each of this domain really does and mean, and they can take better decisions. Like I took this decision after 2 years into my career, so hopefully a lot of you guys can take this decision in the early part of your career as well. So I think that will be really helpful. So yeah,
Okay. Thanking you
sure
once
sir, we'll
again.
do that. Yeah,
Thanking you
thank you
once
so
again,
much. Thanks
and
everyone.
wishing you the best of luck for your future career,
Thank
uh,
you.
for your टेक्निकल ग्रोथ एंड वेल्थ तो आपके पास में गूगल के साथ आ ही जाएगा.
नहीं.
बट साथ साथ बट साथ साथ आई विल ऑल्सो गिव यू very best wishes for your health. Also take care of your health.
Thank you sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
thanks all. Bye.
thank you Shivani, and thank you Mahi, Arti, everyone who
Yeah,
joined.
thank you for
Okay.
organizing, and thanks for being such a supportive audience.
So should we